Tell the people, gather round. Sonny's here to break it down. Latest updates, day by day. Bringing facts the only way. Ooh, tell the people. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Join our happy viewing tribe. Ring that bell and you will see all the updates instantly. Ooh, tell the people.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you have not ever been here before, it helps the algorithm. Okay, if you're YouTuber, you understand that. Thanks, Mel NYC, for being here tonight. And Miss Cindy Turner, thank you so much. I appreciate you all and everyone in the rose bushes. Okay, so today or tonight, we're going to talk about what's going on in the economy. I'm going to try to break that down a little bit. And also, we're going to speak about what's going on in Texas, in them gerrymandering Texas. And, the Democrats left Texas because of what's going on. So they don't want to get these votes passed. Excuse me. There. So, you know us, let's just get started. But I hope you all had a great weekend. I had a fun weekend this weekend. Got into some heated conversations, and they were good for the soul sometimes to sit down and have discussions about what's happening in the country. And good conversations, and very nice. So let me share this video with you first. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this first.
Remember this?
They're taking black jobs.
That was Trump last year blaming immigrants for taking what he called black jobs. But new numbers just came out, and it's Trump who's taking your job. Black unemployment soared to 7.2% in July, up 16% since he took office, and 50% higher than the record low 4.8% under the Biden-Harris administration. And get this, black youth unemployment skyrocketed from 13.4% last summer to 21.7% right now. A 62% increase.
What do you have to lose?
That was Trump in 2016 telling white people in Michigan why black people should vote for him.
You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. What the hell do you have to lose?
Well, under Trump, we lost 571,000 black jobs, 390,000 this year alone, and we're only halfway through. Just look at the average number of black jobs created per year. Biden ranks number 1, 646,000 per year. Clinton number 2, Obama number 3, and Trump dead last. Republicans love to praise job creators, but Clinton, Obama, and Biden each created more jobs individually than any Republican ever did. Clinton, almost 3 million. Obama, almost 3 million. Biden, 2.6 million in just 4 years. This is the pattern. Democrat Clinton creates jobs, Republican Bush crashes the economy, black people lose jobs. Democrat Obama creates jobs, Republican Trump crashes the economy, black people lose jobs. Democrat Biden creates jobs, Republican Trump comes back, cuts thousands of federal jobs, which disproportionately hurts black workers and black women, slashes healthcare, cuts taxes for the rich, and again, black people lose jobs.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
He distracts with chaos, but the facts speak for themselves. The worst black unemployment rate in modern history, 21.2% under Reagan in 1982. The best, 4.8% under Biden in 2023. And now, instead of learning from the weak jobs data, Trump just fired the person who collects the data. Kill the messenger. Instead of rethinking their failed policies, Republicans blame immigrants. But even after they deported thousands of immigrants this year, black unemployment still got worse.
They're taking black jobs.
No, Donald, you're taking black jobs. Republicans have been terrible for black workers. And you, Trump, are the worst of the worst.
Okay, well, there you have it for the black people. He's the worst. But that's always been with Republicans as well, even during the Reagan times. But anyway, so far, Donald Trump, fired the labor person that was over, jobs and labor and everything. He got rid of that person because the person was basically saying that no, the market is bad and we didn't create that many jobs. And so what Donald Trump and his administration is trying to do is wanting to keep quiet about what is happening. So they're going to keep pushing out false narratives and false information because they do not want their people to be scared, be afraid of what's happening in the economy. The economy is getting worse, guys. Jobs are, people are losing their jobs. There are no jobs, no growth really happening. So the GDP from January 20th, 2025 saw a 0.5% contraction driven largely by distorted trade flows as businesses front-loaded imports before tariffs hikes. So people, since the tariffs, Donald Trump placed these tariffs, of course, this type of stuff is going to happen. People are going to lose jobs because companies cannot afford these tariff hikes. And with the shipments and things that are happening as far as, like Shein and Temu and things like that, the taxes are going to get higher. And we, the consumer, will be taking on those prices. Okay. And I'm a Temu girl because I like Temu. Oh, she was only being honest about the job market. Trump didn't like that. So he fired her. Exactly. Because he doesn't want any honesty in this administration. He doesn't want it out there, right? It's kind of like when the C-19 happened and people, he got upset by that, by people, the information going out there. And he didn't want that to happen this time because he doesn't want to put fear in the American people nor his base. Okay, so in the second quarter in 2025, the economy rebounded with 3.0% analyzed growth, boosted partly by sharply reduced imports and artifact of the trade shock. Now, in quarter one and quarter two, the annualized growth rate was only 1.2%, and Goldman Sachs now projects that 1.6 to 1.9% for full year 2025, down from earlier expectations. And we know that because of the tariffs, right? Now, according to analysts at Yale Budgets Lab, tariffs and retaliation are estimated to lower real GDP by 0.5% in 2025 and again in 2026, with long run output remaining at 0.39% below baseline, and that's $115 billion annually. Employment and labor market from January to April, job growth helped hold unemployment around 4.1%. From May to July, the trend deteriorated sharply. In July alone, only 73,000 jobs were added, far below forecast, while May and June payrolls were revised down by a combined 258,000 jobs. Now, I was shocked to hear that Black women lost their jobs at they say 300,000 Black women lost their jobs. 300,000 Black women. And that's just Black women. So I can imagine how many other people lost their jobs. But here we go. And that's more, I think that's more federal jobs. So the unemployment rate rose to 4.2% in July, up from 4.1% in June. Long-term unemployment increased to 1.8 million workers, the highest since 2017, and job searches are stretching out to 10.2 weeks on average versus 9.5 year earlier. Okay. Inflation, prices, and cost. Average tariffs rose dramatically from roughly 2.5% in early 2025 to 25% by mid-April, though easing to 16% by July due to some rollbacks. While tariffs have raised import-sensitive consumer prices modestly, employers have absorbed much of the cost so far. March prices increases may come as a buffer inventory is depleted. So it's kind of like we went through when the pandemic happened, and we saw where the inventory was depleted. And so, you know, when you get low inventory, I believe the prices are going to get higher, right? Excuse me. So now, where we are right now with all these tariffs all the time, with Donald Trump placing tariffs on everything, on all these countries and stuff, we're just going to be taking in the cost, and the taxes are going to rise. We're going to be paying those tariffs. And although they tell you that the consumer is not going to pay the tariffs, we're paying the tariffs, people. That's just the bottom line. I don't know how else to explain it, or I can't simplify it any more than that. The consumer will take on the tariffs. Okay, now pass that on to your MAGA friends if you have MAGA friends. I don't have any of those, but just saying, because they need to understand that. Which people who are low income people will be more than anybody. Who is this? Oh, hey Mel, how you doing? I said, who is this? I can't see.
Hello.
How you doing, Mel?
I'm okay. How you doing?
Good.
You need some tea, some lemon?
Yeah, I was in here drinking water. I don't know why I do have heartburn, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get like that. So so what do you think? Well, let me finish this real quick. So the US dollar and financial markets. The US dollar weakened by 10% year to date, attributed to investors' concerns over tariffs, fiscal spending, and economic uncertainty. Markets were volatile. US equities plunged sharply following the onset of tariffs in April, the 2025 crash, only for major indexes, S&P 500, NASDAQ, to reach all-time highs by late June. Despite slowed hiring, tech and finance sectors posted strong earnings. Over 52% of SP 500 firms reported profit margins declines from observing tariff costs. Okay. Cindy Turner says, I'm on Social Security, and the projected raise in January doesn't match the inflation rate for July. We'll say you, Mel NYC Reviews. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You know how I feel about this. I was just watching too much of this stuff this week. You know what I feel? I feel that we are, and we said this 2 years ago, whatever it was, about a year or so ago. I feel like we are in a stage of mental warfare where I think you read some of it off, but you know, if he has, it's been reported that he has people at networks now going over people's reporting and fact checking it and his direction. So, and then also the people who put out the jobs report, that is that I forget the name of that agency, but they are non-political agency, and never in the history of America did somebody put out the facts of that agency and get fired. So I feel like, you know, we all have to do what you're doing basically and become our own reporter. We have to have ethics. We have to research correctly, and then we have to go to our platforms, because all the corporations are being compromised by this administration. You can't now trust. I mean, I'm surprised that we're in a time we can't trust CBS. We can't really trust ABC. Some of the kids can't trust the colleges. It's becoming to a place where he is trying to make us as paranoid as he is, you know, where we don't want to trust everything. So now we have to, and I'm not talking about, and we know this, Miss Sunny, I'm not talking about individuals. I don't want individuals to be online saying God knows what and getting caught out there. No, I want us as a community, black, white, everybody. This is war right now. Everybody to
Yeah.
really research your stuff very thoroughly. And if you have a lawyer, or you have access to a lawyer, even run it past them when it comes to the Epstein stuff, when it comes to all these tariffs and everything you do, because we have to now do our own reporting. I've been thinking about that in the new year's, what I'm thinking about very much about, stuff for what I want to do next year. And that's what I think we have to do, because everything's lies. And if he's affecting all these agencies and firing people, and there's more stuff to come with the workers too, because can you imagine one day going into your local, as one of the ladies said in chat, going to your local IRS office, Social Security office, and all be MAGA people serving you? That's what he wants. It's going to be, how in Germany they had, I don't know what country, but back in the day where they all have the same look and the same beliefs. That's not America. That's not America. So that's frightening to me, because now we are living in some kind of matrix or something where people have to fake it or whatever. So yeah, that's what I think about that. Yeah, and also the justification. I'm listening to a lot of different conservative.
Thank you.
Oh, who said it? Let me look at. I didn't see that when I told
You said, I'm sorry you have heartburn. Yeah.
Okay. Look over here. Yeah. So when no, that's okay. I be missing things. Yeah, no, I'm just thinking that a lot of guys, a lot of the people in the conservative sector have been justifying, making up numbers in their head. So just, the simple fact is, when he was in office, America was terrible. When he's back in office, it's terrible again. It's the same thing. That's why he fired whoever that person was, because they said, listen, everybody, under the pandemic, we went through this before a couple of years ago. Now it's back again. That's all. He hasn't been in office for a year, so we're back where we were.
The sad part is that it's only been 6 months.
I know.
That's the scary part of what is going to happen in the next 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just have to be prepared. And this is why I was saying, start growing your own vegetables and doing the small stuff, little things that you need in your home. You can start making your own cleaning products as well. But we're going to have to buckle down, because they say that it's going to get even worse. I saw a video said, earlier on IG, where a guy was sit down with your favorite person that told you they didn't vote for Kamala Harris, was basically saying that, at this point where we are right now, there will be tyranny and there will be a revolution. So even I was like, okay, well, it's like, we can talk about it all day long, but the guy was like, yeah, there's going to be a revolution. Because when the oligarchs have taken over, all they care about is making money, the rich getting richer. And now, at this point, democracy is being affected, and you will have a revolution.
Well, that's the one thing that the rich people don't, that's the thing that people don't understand, who are that blind, is that if we count all the trillionaires and CEOs of the world, they are maybe 0 point whatever of the population, and everybody else who's angry is the everything else. So why would a small tiny group inflame and enrage and tell a big group of people that your life don't matter? I don't care about your insurance. I don't care about how hard you got to work. I don't care about your family. I don't care about your cities. I don't care about pollution. I don't care about what my technology does to your water. I don't care, and I'm going to go on Twitter and lie about things, and I'm going to hope that you've been manipulated enough to believe what I'm saying, that it will get better next year. It'll get better when I do these illegal things. Like, I think one of the topics is gerrymandering, which I kind of researched a little more when we get there. But so yeah, I think that like I told you, I didn't vote for him, absolutely not. But I could see the Trump supporters like, damn, every day you make up these rules as you go. Like, that's becoming it's just crazy. Like, the only person that's getting served is him, and somebody gloating. And I mean, even the black man, like, he's coming out about Charlamagne the God. He is not. People thought he's going to save P. Diddy. He ain't saving that man either. So there's a lot of So anyway, he just for himself.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, I take a natural little tablets, because mine is not that bad right now, but today is acting up. I'm talking to Cindy because she's talking about heartburn.
No, I'm reading it here too.
Yeah.
What did I do? I take something. I've been taking it for years because I don't like taking
Prescription stuff. Me, I don't
yeah.
do.
Although some things I don't like taking. Let me go.
So let me read this article. It says tariffs cause August grocery prices to surge. 5 foods hit the hardest. Many Americans have been struggling with the price of groceries since the pandemic. In fact, the U.S. Economic Research Service reported a 23.6% increase in food prices in 2020 to 2024. This is higher than overall inflation, which was at 21.2% during this period, and which was already near record high. Surging prices on staples like eggs hit especially hard because while it is possible to try to trim your grocery budget, there's only so much you can do to cut back on essentials. Unfortunately, things are not likely to get better anytime soon. In fact, things are very likely to get worse. That's because tariffs are scheduled to go in effect in almost all U.S. trading partners. These tariffs were only slated for August 1st, but have now been pushed back to August 7th. Tariffs are taxes on imported goods, which are inevitably passed on to consumers, to consumers. If there are higher import duties due to the food you eat, you are going to pay more for it. In fact, you are going to pay significantly more for many kinds of foods because it's not that easy to just switch to sourcing certain items in the U.S. So how will the tariffs affect your grocery budget, and which items will see the biggest price surges? Let's take a look. Okay, so the Tax Foundation explained that not all foods are going to be equally impacted by the new tariffs. The top 5 foods that are expected to be hit the hardest is liquor and spirits, baked goods, coffee, fish, and beer. Unfortunately, in many cases, these items can't really be swapped out in a one-for-one exchange with products made in the U.S. So yeah, and I noticed when I was at the grocery store the other day, I noticed that coffee I was like, $16 for coffee? Like
Wow.
I'm serious. I was like, what? So I'm like, damn, $69. And I was trying to think in my head if I ever seen it that expensive before.
Was it organic or something?
No, it's just regular coffee. I'm trying to regular coffee. So I'm just like, oh wow, that's crazy. So then I went to but let me tell y'all, if you go to like places like TJ Maxx, I know, but this is where we are. If you like coffee, because I talk about, TJ Maxx and the company is on the list of where not to shop.
and Amazon is too, because
yes. But if you have to have your coffee, I suggest going to TJ Maxx because they do have those
food section. Yeah, they have the food section with international oils and coffees.
Right.
And,
they have coffees, more gourmet type of coffee.
Yep.
But you can get some coffee there for like $5.99, $6.99, $7.99. So, but even at Walmart, it's like I saw like a bag of coffee for $8.99. It was the Walmart brand. Just saying.
Wow.
Cindy said, I just got a job at Walmart and I will be getting a discount there.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Cindy. The people in the rose bushes, show your support by hitting the like button. So go ahead and please hit the like button. And sub if you have not already. I appreciate you all being here. As I see, there's a lot of people in the rose bushes. You can sure make your comments or whatever. No problem there. So so this is where we are with these tariffs. and we will all be affected by it. I don't care how much you have in your bank account or whatever, but we all will be affected by these tariffs. And who knows what's going to happen, because the market is up and down because of Donald Trump and his tariffs. One day, oh, I'm putting the tariff here, and then, oh, I'm gonna, hold back for 90 days. And you just never know what's going to happen with him and the way he's thinking. I don't think he's all mentally, there. He has his good days, he has his bad days, but an 80-year-old, that's to be expected. Okay.
An 80-year-old with a lot of secrets.
With a lot of secrets. With a whole lot of secrets. And meanwhile, they're not going to release those Epstein files, so we knew that was going to happen.
And see, for me right now, what do they call it? It's like what they call it in court. I watched so many of these. I used to love to practice, but they call it the poison fruit of the tree, or something where if you do it wrong, it's a poison fruit. You can't use it in court. Well, at this point, because that woman, if you want to call her that, that's been, Ghislaine Maxwell, I feel she's been compromised. I feel like she's been, do I believe that in a couple of months that she'll come out with something salacious against a Democrat? Absolutely. She would be more focused with the Democrats. Anybody who is a political enemy of Donald Trump, I feel like that's where the energy will go under this administration. I don't think, and it'd be shocking if any Republicans actually be exposed. It'd probably just be Democrats who they'll try to.
Well, he's trying to focus on just talking about Bill Clinton being in the
I know, of course.
It's just Bill Clinton is in the files. You were in the files too until you had your name redacted out of it. You had to get 1,000 FBI people to come out and redact your name, so you're in the file, sir. So I don't understand how people. He's not part of that. I broke it down. Donald Trump is up and down all over. Let me say something. For him to get that football player for his president's workout camp for the kids. I can't remember this guy's name, but he was a well-known athlete, football player back in the day. The one with the little earring. I think he played it even in the movie where with the little earring in his ear.
You talking about Deion Sanders?
No, not Deion Sanders. The new dude. I'll look him up.
But
Trump, gave him a position where he's going to train the kids to the president's workouts for the children, whatever. I don't know, Ty. We had this back in the day. In the same, you get like a little certificate or whatever. It's all crap. Because I remember the time when Michelle Obama said wanted your kids to eat healthy in school, and MAGA was losing their mind. You shouldn't be trying to dictate what my children eat. My kids can eat whatever. I don't think it's right. Nobody wants to eat carrots and all this. It was going on and on and on about Michelle Obama and how she had a program for children to have healthy foods at school. MAGA lost their everlasting mind. Now, Trump is talking about the same exact thing, but now he has a sex offender up there to train children. And see, and I'm saying all this because everybody that Donald Trump surrounds himself with is sex offenders. Make it make sense. All these men that he's putting there, all his buddies, they're all sex offenders. Every last one of them. Anyway, so let me get to this, what's going on with Jasmine Crockett. No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'll say before you go there, I was going to say, there's an old saying that you are the people that you what did they say? You are the friends you keep or something like that.
Yes, you are the company that you keep.
There we go. So it is crazy that when you look these people up, it seems like he has an affinity. I mean, even in this country where the American people, even the people who voted for him, are treated worse than you would treat a stray dog in this country, and you treat this woman who is allegedly connected to and responsible for destroying people's lives, you say she's a good woman, you give her, treat her like a queen in prison, So it really, that's why when I say I told you on the phone, when people say, "Oh, I'm trying to protect the American family, I'm trying to protect the American dream," I don't believe them, not once, not 1 minute, never again. Well, let any kind of MAGA person get up online crying about where this country is going. Well, it went right to where you wanted to. It went right to this hand of a person who was convicted for 34 felonies and who's connected to, or at least who has favorable feelings for people who are very dangerous.
Thank you, Louisiana lady, Lawrence Taylor.
Mm.
Y'all remember who that was? He was an athlete.
No,
Thank you, Louisiana lady. Yeah. So he's a sex offender. He's been convicted of sex. Well, I don't know who he paid out, but anyway, I saw his jail photo and I was like, somebody put it out there. I was like, this is crazy. I was going to talk about it, but I said, I don't even want to talk about this because it's like, this is who this man surrounds himself with.
Yeah.
You don't surround yourself. You don't continuously surround yourself around people who, if you are trying to hold up an image because you claim you're not in these files, you wouldn't dare mess with a young girl like that. I kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of my circle because he stole my girls. So to me, it's like, if you listen to what this man said, don't hear what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying. And look what he surrounds himself with. Jeffrey Epstein, John Casablanca, Elite Modeling, Jean Michaels, MC2 Modeling, other people. But he surrounds himself. It doesn't he walks in on young girls when they were changing, when he had the Miss America and the Miss Teen patches and stuff like that. Or, so he grabbing them by the U-Haul, by the, you understand what I'm saying? It just, come on, people, put the puzzles together. It don't take a rocket science. Just, it's right here in your face. And people are just still literally saying, he's not in the files. Well, I don't think he did this. And come on. You don't surround yourself with people like that unless you are involved in it. And the only reason why he's not pardoning P. Diddy is because P. Diddy talked bad about it. And he said, well, how can I do that when he said bad things about me? So now he wants P. Diddy to come and kiss the ring. That's all he wants.
He wanted the
block. Because I know he free P. Diddy kissed the ring. If he frees Ghislaine Maxwell, she kissed the ring.
He's trying to be like the Godfather from the picture.
Yeah.
You want people to bend the knee. You don't want that. Yeah.
Everybody bend the knee for me because I'm the king. So Jasmine Crockett, they are down in Texas, gerrymandering Texas. They need 5 seats. Now, Donald Trump has literally said that we need 5 seats. He came out and said it. We need 5. So give me 5, right? Because he feels like, and he knows that he's going to have a hard time winning the House. And so he needs those 5 seats. Now, the gerrymandering map proposed by the Texas GOP would kick firebrand Democratic Republican Jasmine Crockett out of her own district. Okay, let me play this video real quick. I think this is the one.
Jasmine Crockett on behalf of U.S. Rep. Jasmine Crockett and self against House Bill 4. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Please give us your testimony.
So, first of all, it is a sham that we sit here and y'all pretend as if you care about what the people have to say, but we are going to make y'all listen as long as you will. This map does nothing but divide, distract, and depress. There is this idea that was put out there during his opening remarks that this does so much for Black folk. Well, let me tell you, as a Black person, it does not. Let me tell you that in this map, to be clear, y'all added 2 additional Anglo majority seats. Now, when we went through the 21 maps, you added 2 Anglo majority seats, and now you're adding 2 more Anglo majority seats, and then you've decided that you are going to pack and crack, and that is the language that I am going to use because that is the legal language. And I also just want to remind y'all really quickly that it does not look good when you take every economic engine out of my district and then tell me that I am supposed to sit here and be so happy because you added Black folk from a whole other community. When you want to talk about monoliths and whether or not they exist, this idea that you just take people and move them around. I have 200,000 people who were never in my district, and my district is 766,000. Playing move minorities around so that you can somehow claim that this is nothing but partisanship. The only way that you get here is by making sure that you trample upon the rights and the liberties and the voices of minorities. So let me give you a few facts about the state of Texas. The state of Texas only has 39% Anglos, yet somehow under this map, we are going to have somewhere near 60 something, almost 70% of these seats are going to be chosen by Anglos. If we were looking for fairness and to follow the Voting Rights Act, you'd have 15 Latino opportunity seats, 15 Anglo seats. You then have 4 African-American opportunity seats. Then you'd have 2 Asian opportunity seats, and the other 2 seats would belong to coalitions because we are a majority minority state where over 60% of this population is people of color. So if you want to do what's fair and right under the Voting Rights Act, as well as if you say that this Fifth Circuit Court case matters and somehow changes everything, my question to you is, when are y'all gonna do y'all's maps? Because you did your maps in 2021 and then the case came out, and I haven't seen y'all talk about the fact that you're gonna redistrict the House and the Senate.
Thank you for testimony. Chair call.
Jasmine be going off. She be letting them have it. You can tell she's irritated. And that's because, you know,
I don't blame her.
I don't either. They drew a line, and she's not even in her district anymore. So she doesn't even rep her own district that she was repping, and they did it on purpose. And so she was basically saying that I know the man, you know, the Orange King up there did it on purpose, called down to Abbott and was like, yeah, draw her out. You know what I'm saying? Because for him, she has a loud voice, and she's, you know, she has a following. He doesn't like that. He don't know loud mouth girl, woman coming up talking, because he knows that she can run some stuff and she can get it done, and he can't stand that. So she's been drawn out of her district. So the Texas Democrats departed today, Sunday, from the Lone Star State and headed to Chicago in effort to prevent their state legislator from holding a vote that would approve Republican-backed redistricting map. They will be getting fined $500 a day, I heard. Oh, I thought you was going to say something. So Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, a Democrat, helped arrange for the trip during a meeting with the Texas caucus last month. He has directed his staff to assist the Texas lawmakers with any necessary support during their stay. Historically, and this is why it matters, it says, historically, the party in the White House loses seats, and Republicans currently have a slim majority in both the U.S. House and the Senate, giving Democrats hopes of retaking at least one of the houses of Congress in next year's midterms. Oh, thank you, Susan. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. So Texas Republicans have sought to redraw the redistricting map in an effort to bolster nationwide party changes of retaining the U.S. House of Representatives in the 2026 midterm election. Republicans in other states with a significant battleground contest coming up have also looked to follow a similar path. Okay, what to know? More than 51 Democratic members of the Texas House of Representatives departed in the state on Sunday, aiming to deny the chamber a quorum and prevent passage of a proposed Republican map before a scheduled floor vote. The Texas House requires the presence of at least 100 of its 150 members to conduct business. With only 62 Democratic members in the chamber, their collective absence can halt legislative proceedings, according to the Associated Press. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a Republican, had called a special session to address the flooding that killed 135 people last month in Texas Hill Country. Now, remember that. And the redistricting plan, which would redraw congressional boundaries and could potentially increase Republican-held seats from 25 to as many as 30 out of Texas' 38 districts. The thing about Texas, Jasmine said it. She said it. There is 60% minority people in Texas. 60%. That leaves only 39%
Anglo-Saxon.
Anglo-Saxons, right? And so what they're doing is, hi Norris. What you're doing is you're having Anglo-Saxon people run certain districts. Now that people of color districts, so Asians is doing. So she said what she's saying is Asians should be a part of it. Hispanic people should be sitting up here. It should look like America in the Congress, not just all white men. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene has come out and said, I take whatever she said with a grain of salt, but
right,
because she'll flip flopper, but and she just does it because she needs votes. But what she's saying is, it's just the men are not even honoring the women. And it's like they're taking over and the women are being pushed out. This is something that's, this ain't right. So, yeah. What do you say?
Well, I mean, let's talk about the district. I don't live down there. So I'm seeing from what I was reading that the counties affected by the proposed map is, Rio Grande Valley, South Texas. I think Hidalgo County area. We have also the county. We have Paxer County. The district represented by Democratic Representative Henry Cooler and Vincent Gonzalez are likely to become more Republican leaning. We also have the Houston area, which is the Harris County, including the heavily impacted District 9, represented by the rock star, Mr. Al Green, and the District 18, formerly held by Mr. Sylvester Turner, will be dismantled and reshaped towards the GOP gains. That's what they're talking about. Then we're going to go down to we're going to go down to Dallas, Fort Worth, and North Texas. Mm-hmm. These are the Democratic leaning districts, 32 with Miss Julie Johnson. And then we also have the District 33. They want to redraw that, going towards to the Republicans. And then we got the last one, which is Travis County, and that's District 35 they want to put that over to Greg Sesser. Well, anyway, so these are the counties. But I want to go back up to that, Mr. Greg Abbott. I want to go back up. So those are the counties that people need to really watch out for. I want to go up a little bit. Where was I at? I had something here. Something here. Hold on. Can I find it? Because I did actually do a little research with this, because I don't live there, but I wanted to see what was going on. I'm sorry. You can continue talking. I'm going to keep finding this until I do.
No, I just find it interesting because I didn't realize, and I'm from Texas, but I didn't realize that Texas was basically a blue state. When you think about it, of it being predominantly, I hate the word.
Predominantly mixture. It's a mix down there. It's a
mixture of people.
It's a melting pot down there.
Mm-hmm. I hate the word minorities, but most of the people are people of color that live in that state. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize it was 60%. I did not know that. So when she said, I was like, wow, Texas is probably most likely a blue state. So, but because they redistrict, they gerrymander all the time.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about, because what you said, we're going to keep it very politically correct. So I guess we have that, energy, so we're going to do it. So Governor Greg Abbott calling the special session of the Texas in July, recently, to redraw the congressional map was what I'm learning was illegal because so the next time they was to redraw this map for Texas was supposed to be in 2031, and in Texas, it's illegal because they only redistrict down there for the history of Texas once a decade, every 10 years. So this was totally, there was no justification for this. Okay, I got here. The Republican leaders offered several justification. They claimed they wanted to comply with the Voters Act. They want a response to lawsuits. Several federal lawsuits filed in 2022 argued that the Texas map dilutes the power to the Black and Latino voters, and primarily South Texas, Harris County, and Travis County. Republicans are using those lawsuits as a pretext to redraw the map in a way that looks like they're responding to legal concerns, but actually strengthening GOP control up to 5 or more congressional seats. So what they've said was that they were trying to respond to these lawsuits, but in reality, they're using it as a way to get more, power because of Trump.
Right. Because he said he needs those 5 seats. Now, what I heard on Brian Tyler Cohen was that I think it was him, but they were saying if they go and do that, and then the Democrats are going to come, and then they're going to, right? Because Gavin Newsom was talking about, okay, because California is a bigger state too. Okay, that's fine. You do that, we'll do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so now they're going head to head, but apparently, if they do that, they're trying to make Texas step down, back off with the gerrymandering by saying, okay, if you do it, we're going to do it. So now we're fighting back. So my husband and I were talking about this. I said, I think that's, or I think it was my sister, but I said, I'm okay with Gavin Newsom. I remember a couple of years ago, we were talking about Gavin Newsom run. I was like, I don't like him. But Gavin Newsom so far is the only person that's really stepping up and fighting that I see besides Jasmine Crockett and AOC and Bernie Sanders. When we're talking about a presidential nominee for president, he's coming in saying we have to fight. We can't just keep sitting back, just being, diplomatic and, bipartisan this and bipartisan. It's not there. We're not there anymore. We literally have to fight. And Donald Trump is not going anywhere until it's time for him to go somewhere, right? Until he has been called home from the man upstairs. So making him step down is not going to happen. I mean, he's an egomaniac. He's not stepping down. So this is a fight. If they lose the House in the Senate, this is Gavin Newsom, and I know I talked about this before, literally said out of his mouth in this interview that there will most likely not be another election.
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked about that.
Yeah. So this is why this is very, people need to literally take to the streets. We're marching. You need to, put your foot down on some of these companies out here. Only shop when you need to shop. Okay. So boycotting needs to start happening. I'm just saying this because I believe that boycotting works. We saw what happened to Target, right? When they did the whole DEI stuff. So boycotting works. We really have to come together, everybody now, because talk about voting in the midterms. A lot of times people don't vote midterms. So this is boots on the ground. Y'all know the song Boots on the Ground. This is boots on the ground, y'all. It's time to really get out there and do something.
And I hope you're right. And I also
Really.
think, I hope that the people of Texas are really paying attention to this too, because I hope that, you know what, the chair, I hope they vote out, Todd Hunter, who is he's leading this kind of, illegal, it's not even kind of, it's illegal, this illegal remapping. He's leading the illegal mapping down in Texas. They also vote out Dustin Burrows, in Texas, and of course, Greg. Those are the three, and Greg Abbott. Those are the three that need to focus on, because those are the ones that are really, basically, Trump's lapdog. Those are the three right there. The Texas House Redistricting Committee chair is Todd Hunter in Texas.
Mhm.
Texas House Speaker is Dustin Burrows, and then you have Greg Abbott as the governor. So those are the three those are the most dangerous for the Texas people.
Yeah, Greg Abbott. And I always wonder why Greg Abbott was always like, I'm like, how does this man keep getting voted in? And the races be so close, because he's done this all the time. It's not the first time he's done it. It's a lot of cheating going on in Texas. A lot under corrupt stuff that goes on in Texas. Let's see. It says the Democratic Party chair, Ken Martin, in a statement said, for weeks we've been warning that if Republicans in Texas want a showdown, if they want to delay flood relief to cravenly protect Donald Trump from an inevitable midterm meltdown, then we give them that showdown. That's exactly what Texas Democrats did today, blowing up Republican sham special session that's virtually ignored the plight of flood victims in Kerr County. So we all know about the flood. So what's going to happen next? Texas Republicans will attempt to find legal means of passing the proposed redistricting though that may lead to a drawn out legal battle. The U.S. Supreme Court is already reviewing a dispute over redistricting in Louisiana, and earlier this year overturned a lower court decision that ruled South Carolina's congressional map was unconstitutional. So it's a lot going on. I mean,
Yeah, what I think too is that at a certain point, it is a lot going on. And I remember I have like a little idea in my mind that I'm going to be thinking about. Because somebody needs to really write down in clear English or clear language, because it doesn't matter what language it is. I know there was a idea recently. They said, "Oh, if you're not speaking English, you should leave the country." Somebody said that this week. Because we are living in a time where there's so much noise going on that people can't recognize when there are things happening that has never happened in the past 200 years. Redistricting, or no more elections, just everything that's people, because a lot of people said this was just normal politics. That's what even to now people said this is just the Democrats do this too. Like I told you, we have a total lockdown. Democrats, and they don't always play fair. I get that here in New York City. It's true. So we have a certain lockdown here too when it comes to the way we have the redistricting here. We do. It's just we have lawsuits and all type of stuff here when it comes to that. But this is not just politics as normal. And I just think that for me, it's happening so much that I want to write everything down and list everything, and that's what I think needs to be done, because it's happening so fast. Even the way that, like I said at the beginning of the show, having somebody at the news that's sitting there almost like a watchdog, just watching everything you do with a made up name that has never existed in history. Oh, this is the person. This is the official title to watch. Make sure that you don't say anything about Trump. At CBS. And now Jeff Bezos told this man who I watch on, I forget his name, he's on PBS. He left the Washington Post after years because they told him that he can no longer talk about scandals or talk about what's going on in Palestine, that he now has to talk about being patriotic and that kind of stuff. That's what's happening in Washington Post. Now, mind you, Jeff Bezos is not going to be out there with fire and brimstone, but you better believe me, he's definitely, that's why for me, I struggle ordering from Amazon, because he's just like the rest of them.
Right. Yeah. The billionaires, the oligarchs, it's just, they don't care about the little people. I mean, this is, to be honest with you, I'm not scared, but I am worried about what is going to happen if, Congress is not flipped back to the Democrats. I don't think it's going to be, no, I don't think it's going to be a nice situation for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
Well, we got to keep on doing what we're doing. Keep doing
I
this.
know.
I mean, we have a year, and we got a year and some change.
For who?
Well, wait a minute. The midterms is next year, right?
Yeah, yeah. Midterms are next year.
Yeah.
One or two things that happen, like I said, naturally things happen when you get old. You move right along, and maybe that might happen. I don't know. But I'm just taking on his condition of his, his fluid in his legs and all that kind of stuff. But he's an old man. And he's not healthy. Let me read this real quick because let me read my little text for him. This is a disclaimer. The content shared during this live stream is for entertainment and hold on, let me show it. Let me start over. The content shared during this live stream is for entertainment and or informational purpose only. The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any affiliated organizations. We do not provide legal, financial, medical, or professional advice. Please consult with a qualified professional for any such guidance. All comments made by viewers are their own responsibility. We over here at Tell the People reserve the right to moderate, remove, or block any inappropriate or harmful content. Okay. This live stream may contain adult language or themes. Viewer discretion is advised. By continuing to watch, you acknowledge that you understand and accept these terms. Thank you.
Amen.
That's my disclaimer, child. So,
listen, you know what? One of these videos are not going to be on members only. I said one of these videos will not be on members only.
Right, exactly.
I mean, tonight it's been,
it's been pretty, straightforward. And
we got to give people a chance to watch some of these things,
Right. So, W1, would you like to come up? So I dropped the link if you wanted to. So so Jasmine Crockett has been
in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas, relined out of her district, and
they're going after it, and as I read, they focusing on the district of Mr. Al Green too.
Yeah,
which is not a coincidence,
Right, of course they are.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you going to put people in districts that don't understand what's happening in people's district? That makes sense. Like you're putting someone that probably don't even live in. You claim that they live there, but they don't live in a district. That's what the redlining is. So you put them over there in this district, and then they don't understand what's happening. They don't really care about those people because they only care about themselves. I've lived in Texas. I know. You're going to put a Republican in the district where people are, living at the poverty line, a Republican, and you think that person care about those people?
So one thing that people are not talking about, I guess I could bring up, is we haven't really had that put into the conversation, is language. Now, in New York City, we have so many languages here that after years and years and years and years of the remap and redistrict, the redistrict part of all of that, a lot of it is really almost set. It's set in a way that the community that you're in, whether it's in our community in New York City, we have Russian community. They all, a lot of people stick together is what I'm trying to say. And so it causes hardship. God help them if somehow it gets redistricted and they do get put into another one, and we don't have at the polling site somebody who is, because what we do here is whatever the language is in that community where the polls is at, you kind of get a grasp about if it's a predominant Russian community or if it's Hispanic or if it's Jewish or whatever. You will have some idea with that language. So if somebody is not speaking the language correctly or barely having it, and they get put into maybe a Jewish person who barely speaks English, you get put somewhere with an Asian community, it could be a horror story because you don't know, they can't really understand you. They don't have an interpreter there. So that's how we work here. So that's another part, a little sad ingredient, that when people get pushed around, if a lot of times the Board of Elections will know what kind of language is spoken in those communities. A lot of the times,
Right.
they know it very well. I'm not sure how they do down in Texas, but it's one of the biggest parts. Most of the polling sites have an interpreter for that community.
But I think that's why she said that, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
know how they do in Texas, but yeah, it's
redlining districts where you're redlining districts where there are communities that, people of, have an Asian community, and Texas is, especially Houston, Texas, it is extremely diverse.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Asians have one side, Hispanics are on another side, Black communities on one side, you know what I'm saying? And so it's very,
and a lot of first-time voters are already paranoid, not because of them, but because, so what happens is when they get to the polling site and something happens, they already feel, oh my gosh, the people out to get me, they're trying to mess me up. And they feel paranoid because either they don't know, they're afraid they will go somewhere where the people won't have an interpreter there.
right.
And they won't have no recourse. They can get either frustrated out of their mind, or guess what? They can just do what some Republicans want them to do and go home and not vote.
Right.
You get so frustrated. And again, we aren't going to talk about language only, but also you can imagine somebody who's a senior citizen in a wheelchair with no help, and they decide, this is where I've gone for 4 years. And now they say, oh, ma'am, you got to go 10 miles away. What? Oh my gosh, I don't have the coffee. I don't know how, how, and the line's going to be too long. But again, this is what we talked about on this show for a long time. It's always good to call your local Board of Elections. Even with this redistricting that they're doing, the Board of Election will always tell you, based on your information, your address, where you go. And you kind of have to call them a lot. Even if this gets crazy, if I was Jasmine, I would say, okay, well, now make sure you call your local Board of Election, every single person in my community, to make sure we know where you're at, and that they give it to you in writing, they send stuff to you in the mail. Just it'd be a pain in the butt for the people, but that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's the best way to do it. Okay, well, Mel, I appreciate you being here. Anything else you want to say? Because
this was
in an hour, it was good. You said it was
good. No, I'm glad. This is good. Now I'm done. Thank you.
No, this was a good live. This was a good, short, to the point live.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, the Epstein files, they're not trying to release those files. So we got to start talking about other things. We're going to continue to always talk about Epstein as well, but we're going to continue to talk about other things that is important that we need to be focusing on, as well as the Epstein files, because we know the man was in the thing. It was been redacted, but we'll see what happens.
That's right. All right. Well, you know what? Good night, Miss Sunny. Good night to the chat, and everybody stay safe.
Okay. Thank you, Mel.
All right.
So, so I appreciate everybody that was here. Thank you, Cindy, for being here. Thank you, Louisiana Lady, for showing up and making a comment. Thank you, Norris, for being here as well. And W1, thank you. And y'all stay focused. Like I said earlier, we got to stay focused. Be sure to, like I said, learn how to grow some vegetables and things like that, because things are going to get more expensive as these tariffs, kick in, turn off, however he's doing it, but he's doing it and he's messing up everything. And then I'm talking about Donald Trump. And so with all of that, just try to take it easy, keep your mind clear, and thank you. Keep your mind clear, and I'll see you all on Wednesday, okay? And I'll love on y'all later. Y'all have a wonderful night.